the Holy Virgin Martyrs Agape, Irene, and Chionia. April 16th, three devout sisters possessing forbidden scriptures face arrest and martyrdom under Emperor Diocletian for their unwavering Christian faith. A heads up in the spirit of transparency. Please be advised that this content may include martyrdom, torture, physical violence, persecution, execution. The Holy Virgin Martyrs Agape, Irene, and Chionia were three sisters who lived near Thessalonica in the Roman province of Macedonia. Their lives unfolded in the late 3rd and early 4th centuries, a time when the Roman Empire sought to suppress the Christian faith. Orphaned at a young age, the sisters chose to dedicate their lives to Christ. They preserved their virginity and lived in prayer and piety, setting an example of devotion within their community. During the reign of Emperor Diocletian, a fierce persecution of Christians commenced. Imperial edicts commanded the confiscation and burning of all Christian scriptures. Despite this grave danger, Agape, Irene, and Chionia continued to possess and study the Holy Scriptures, finding in them guidance for their lives. They turned away from worldly pursuits and suitors, committing themselves entirely to Christ, their heavenly bridegroom. The sisters were eventually discovered to be in possession of these forbidden books. They were arrested and brought before Governor Dulcitius. When questioned about their faith, they offered a bold confession of Christ. Governor Dulcitius then commanded them to obey the imperial decree, to surrender their holy books, and to eat food sacrificed to pagan idols. The sisters firmly stated their inability to comply with these commands, explaining that to do so would be a betrayal of the one true God. Governor Dulcitius first focused his efforts on Agape and Chionia. He employed threats of torture, seeking to break their resolve and compel them to renounce their Christian faith. However, the two sisters stood steadfast. They did not waver in their confession. Seeing their unwavering commitment, Dulcitius condemned Agape and Chionia to be burned alive. The holy virgins accepted their sentence with prayer and joy. They glorified God as they entered the flames, offering their lives as a witness to Him. Their souls departed from their bodies amidst the fire, joining the company of martyrs. After the martyrdom of Agape and Chionia, Governor Dulcitius turned his attention to Irene, the youngest sister. He believed that her youth might make her more susceptible to persuasion. He ordered the burning of the holy books found in her possession. Then, in an act of profound malice, he commanded that Irene be taken to a public brothel for defilement. This was intended to break her spirit and desecrate her virginity, which she had dedicated to Christ. However, God protected His servant. As the soldiers led Irene away, a divine power intervened. The soldiers were overcome by an unseen force, and instead of taking her to the brothel, they abandoned her on a high hill outside the city. There, Saint Irene remained, preserved from the evil intent of the governor. The next day, Governor Dulcitius, enraged by the failure of his soldiers and the unexpected turn of events, sent them to find Irene. When they reached the hill, they found her standing at the summit, yet they were unable to approach her. It was as if she stood upon a pedestal, guarded by an invisible barrier. From her position on the hill, Saint Irene rebuked the governor's cruelty, speaking with the authority of her faith. In his frustration and impotence, Dulcitius ordered one of his archers to shoot her with an arrow. The arrow struck Saint Irene, and she surrendered her soul to God, joining her sisters in martyrdom. The names of these holy sisters, Agape, love, Irene, peace, and Chionia, snow, reflect the virtues they embodied through their lives and their witness. The Orthodox Church commemorates their martyrdom on April 16th, honoring their steadfast confession of Christ and their ultimate sacrifice. Their lives stand as an enduring example of faith preserved in the face of persecution.